Welcome to the Kentucky Game Plan with your hosts, Adrian and Mac.
Welcome, everybody, to the Kentucky Game Plan. I'm Adrian Smith.
And I'm Thanos.
Not really.
Oh, Mike Black. Sorry.
There we go. That's it. Man, do we got a
What do you
nice...
mean, not really?
Not even close.
Come on.
You're not even purple. Come on, man. Got a really good guest coming on the show today, man. Spencer, horse guru. He knows all about it.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, he's been doing this for like 7 years. So,
awesome.
Got a lot of knowledge.
So, all you guys out there who like horse racing or need some tips on betting or just tips on horses, period, got a treat for you.
Yep, he is the man of the hour. Moving on to the locals. Man. So this Chris Mack guy's now got some stuff coming in here.
Oh, yeah. He's got several guys who have committed.
Yeah. Christian Cunningham, the transfer from Samford. It's Samford, not Stanford. Samford.
Easy to get those mixed up.
Exactly.
When you hear it.
That's why
I was thinking Stanford as well.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, what? But no, it's Samford. He is a 6'2" point guard that moves very, very quickly. I watched some highlights of this guy. He's going to be a real special treat for the U of L fans. He's the all-time assist leader at Samford with 478. And just think, he missed 23 games last season due to an illness.
Wow.
Like I said, this guy can shoot. He can move with the ball. He's got great court vision. His last full season at Samford, he averaged 11 points and 6 assists. But he does struggle a little bit from the three-point line. He's not that great of a three-point shooter, but in the open floor, he is fun to watch.
It's like he might need a little practice.
Yeah. Well, you know, practice makes perfect, they say.
It does.
Who else we got?
They also got a commit from Josh Nickelberry from Fayetteville, North Carolina. He's a graduate of the 2019 class, so he now plays. He's a junior at Northwood Temple Academy, and that's in Fayetteville as well. Guy's got a lot of offers.
Okay.
Seton Hall, Ole Miss, Rhode Island, Oklahoma State. And he visited a few schools as well: Virginia Tech, Auburn, Marquette, Florida State. But He chose U of L.
Wow.
Guys, he's ranked 60th nationally. Shooting guard, ranked number 8th. Ranked 4th in North Carolina. Very explosive kid. When he gets into the lane, he can create his own shot. He's a pretty good mid-range shooter.
Okay.
So that's going to add a pretty good addition to the Cardinals team.
Yeah, hopefully this kind of solidifies their backcourt maybe, at least for this upcoming season.
They got a couple other guys coming in as well that have committed. So
True. UK?
Yeah, UK, Vanderbilt and Gabriel, unfortunately, but fortunately at the same time, they're staying in the NBA draft. I wish both of them the best.
I do too.
PJ Washington's coming back on the other hand. That's a big thing for the Wildcats.
He said he wanted to win a college championship.
And Kyle wanted to continue to coach him another year.
go.
So I think that's pretty amazing. And we have Minneapolis native power forward Stanford grad transfer Reed Travis.
Oh, yes.
He's going to be visiting the Wildcats campus this week. And about 90% sure he's going to be a Wildcat. So I'm pretty excited about this guy. 19.5 points, 8.7 rebounds is what he averaged when he was at Stanford last season. Okay. Dude's 6'8", 245 pounds. So imagine if the Wildcats land this guy, what their front court's going to look like with E.J. Montgomery, Keldon Johnson, Nick Richards.
PJ Washington.
Yeah.
So, wow.
There you go. Dude was ranked 3rd in the league, both scoring and rebounding. He did declare for the draft back in April. Didn't receive an invite to the combine, but he did get to work out with a few NBA teams and read a couple of quotes to guys that worked with him. So he's one of the strongest guys that they ever worked with.
Wow.
He chose Stanford over Duke in Minnesota as well. So I thought that was a nice little piece.
Wow.
Info there.
Didn't choose the Duke Blue Devils.
No. NBA, before I get into that, or before we get into that.
True.
Cool little piece of information. I don't know if you knew this or not. Draymond Green
Okay.
He had chose Kentucky for his school to play at. But when Tubby Smith left,
oh, yes.
he committed.
And that's why he went to Michigan State.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Well, that is kind of weird.
Wow.
Never knew that.
I didn't know it either. Had no clue.
Wow.
Had no clue. That was a total shock to me. But I think the biggest shocker was Game 1 of the NBA Finals. LeBron James, 51 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, played 48 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, what else you want to do?
And he wanted to take that last shot.
Yeah, but you get people who want to dribble the ball back out to the three-point line. Why, I don't know. You got 4.2 seconds. I mean, do need to be punched in the throat. J.R. Smith, LeBron should have punched you in the throat. But it shouldn't even came to J.R. Smith. George Hill should have hit his free throws.
True. He should have hit both of them.
Okay, then you have Draymond stepping into the lane. That should have been a violation. And that should have gave George Hill another free throw attempt.
Correct.
Come on, what are the refs doing?
Obviously, they're
Somebody
ordering
getting paid?
hot dogs and popcorn because they missed that when it's kind of blatant.
And chocolate chip cookies and Cokes with no ice.
There you go. Yeah, I mean...
frustrating.
When LeBron is yelling
did you see LeBron's face?
Yes.
Now, if that had been Kobe or Jordan, they'd been in his ass.
True.
At the end of that game in that locker room, he would have been all in his face, cussing him out and telling him about himself.
Well, when the
why
guys,
would you do that?
When the guy's yelling at you, 3 feet, 4 feet away?
Right, give me the ball. Give me the ball.
Give me the ball. Give him the ball.
What are you doing? You wait till the last second to pass it off to somebody, try to get a quick shot off with this, maybe a second left, and then the shot gets blocked. Guess what? Oh, you go into overtime.
Right.
You don't want to go into overtime with the Warriors.
No.
And you see what the outcome of that was. Then the scuffle at the end.
Oh, Tristan Thompson?
Yeah.
Draymond Green? Yeah.
Draymond running his mouth once again.
Tristan didn't have it. That's for sure.
He should have threw the ball in his face. And it sounds unsportsmanlike on my end, but hey, come on.
True.
I mean, you got to learn to control your emotions. It's a heated battle. You're in
this
the middle
is it.
of
This
it.
is what you worked all season
Exactly.
for. This is
And
why
then-
you're here.
It's a lot of emotions, mixed with all the egos, and everybody wants to be that champion. We understand that, but I don't know.
So what do the Cavs need to do in the second game? Sunday night, 8 o'clock.
The other teammates need to get involved. They need to get involved early. Don't sit there and wait on your star player to score 50, 60 some points.
True.
I mean, he's not going to be able to do that every game.
No.
And then most of the time when he scores big like that, they come up with a loss. Nothing against LeBron. It's just, if he's playing by himself and scoring all the points, and everybody else is standing there just watching, they might as well go take a seat in the stands. Go sit down.
I agree. I mean, if
Everybody
you're going to be there
has
to
to
watch
get
the
involved.
show, then why are you on the court?
Right. Everybody's got to get involved. Curry, what did he finish with? 29 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds. Klay Thompson had 24 points. Durant added 26 points. And Green had 18 points.
So all of the big four.
Everybody contributed and scored.
Yeah, the big four for Golden State contributed.
Kevin Love had 21 points, 13 rebounds, 1 assist, and he played 39 minutes. That being the Cavs shot 44.4%, and they were 27% from three-point line.
Wow. So Kevin Love showed up like usual.
Yeah,
Nobody
always.
else for the Cavs.
Warriors shot 51% and 36.1% from three-point range. So, I mean, they're going to have to find a way to get the players involved, get some stops, take Curry out of his game and Thompson out of his game. Nobody's worried about Draymond. He's always going to be Draymond and run his mouth and do what he does. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, like you're saying, you got to stop the Splash Brothers. You got to kind of go with the same game plan that you kind of had from game one,
right.
but execute better. And hopefully, by executing better, the role players, J.R. Smith, Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance Jr., George Hill, all those guys kind of step up. I'm not saying all of them need to step up, but some of them need to step up.
Yeah, they really do.
I mean, Kevin Love can only do so much. LeBron James can only do so much. So,
Kevin Love's playing great.
and that's after a concussion, by the way.
Right.
I mean,
He's
he's out.
playing awesome. And I just, I don't know. I mean, I was half asleep watching the game anyways. I ain't gonna lie. But when I see that, I'm just sitting here like...
Well, I feel like, at this point of the game, LeBron needs to just worry about LeBron and scoring, and he needs to kind of do his thing as far as doing his thing, as far as scoring and rebounding and assist. You can take out the assist. You just need to score and rebound.
Right.
I mean,
well, I would like to see him facilitate the ball as well, best as possible. It's like when he's moving that ball around and gets everybody else involved, things seem to flow a lot smoother.
Well, he needs to do everything he needs to do to get this win. Because guess what? You could have won, and you didn't.
Right. Another quick, interesting fact here: Jordan Clarkson, Cavs point guard, 0 assists over his last 39 minutes. No, I'm taking it back. 93 minutes played, 15 of 52 in his last 7 games played, and 36 of 119 from the field in the postseason, and 12 total assists in the postseason. Dude's stock is just declining. Jordan Clarkson, where are you?
Yeah, because you were kind of like a rising star for the Lakers.
Him and Larry Nance, I mean, what's going on? What do they got to do to get this guy started?
I don't know. I mean,
or has he got to start himself?
I think he's got to kind of put it on himself. I mean, his teammates have showed up. LeBron's doing everything he can do, obviously. So I think it's more on them. It's not on the coaching. It's not on LeBron. No. It's more on the actual players itself.
Well, he needs to have a talk and they need to have a good shoot around, have a talk, and get teammates involved. You know, they can't dwell on what happened in game 1.
Mm-mm.
Don't bring that into game 2. You know, it is what it is. It happened. Hopefully, Smith learned from it. Got punched in the throat.
Well, just kind of act like this is game 1.
Right.
Right here. I mean.
Well, I don't know if you want to act like this is game 1 because of the simple fact, all that dark cloud of idiot hangs over their head. The idiot play hangs over their head. So just, flush it and move on.
This is not the first time that J.R. Smith has done that.
No, it's not.
He did it when he was with the New York Knicks.
Yes,
also.
he did. Yes.
Almost the same kind of play.
It was.
He got the rebound, he dribbled it out, turned around.
Hey, J.R., stay off the Henny.
Well, just stay off the rebounding. How about that?
Sipping a Henny between timeouts. Stay off of it. Ron Artest used to drink Hennessy.
During games.
Before games and during timeout. You go to the locker room, he's drinking Hennessy. Then he's back on the floor playing. How do you do that?
I have no idea.
My God. Drunk?
Obviously drunk as a skunk.
Wow.
And played. And at an all-star level.
Didn't he? Wow, how do you do that?
I have no idea. But
have you seen the concept uniforms for the Kentucky Colonels? The Nike did? It almost looks like the Raptors. It's like a blue with a reddish. The font and everything is red.
I couldn't tell if it was red or orange, but I know what you're talking about.
It's red.
Okay.
Looks like a Raptors uniform in a sense. Like the colors. It reminds me of that.
Yeah, that purplish blue. I don't know what you really want to call it. It's got a purple blue.
Not too bad, but I would like to see some a home, maybe an alternate, and maybe a city version.
Right.
Because they do 4 different styles.
True.
Or colors on the jersey. So
also, I don't know if you saw in the Courier Journal, another local situation. Louisville City FC Soccer is now going to have their own stadium.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
I can't wait either, man.
I cannot wait.
That's awesome.
I got to get to a game.
So groundbreaks on that next year. So, but the funding is good, and you got their spot picked out. And
green light.
Yeah, it's all green light. So, can't wait for that. Which saves some more games for the bad season. So there you go. Let's call up Spencer.
Let's get him on the phone.
Yeah, let's get him on the phone. Let's do it.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Spencer, what's going on, buddy? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited to dig into the Belmont Stakes. I think it's a really good time for the sport in general, and coming off a really competitive Preakness Stakes and Kentucky Derby. And it's really good for the sport, and it's really good for, obviously NBC. And I think that would justify taking kind of a step back in the Preakness and some other horses that took a step forward. I think that this could be a good betting opportunity for horse players. So,
well, I agree. I'm Adrian Smith, and welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing, Spence? My name is Mac Black. Good to have you on this morning.
Couple good questions
Yeah.
for you. Couple good questions here for you. Is there a science or a mathematical system you use to bet, or is it just kind of blind luck? I guess is the way to put it.
Well, horse players have a couple of techniques that they can use. I mean, obviously they don't have some sort of like inside information. They have what is called trip handicapping, and that's where they watch replays of the horses themselves and how they ran in particular races, and then they have forms that a variety of different sources like Daily Racing Form or Brisnet or Equibase or Thorograph make what they call speed figures for those players to evaluate and come to a decision on how they want to approach the betting process of the race. I particularly think that while it's most time-consuming, trip handicapping is probably the best way to approach handicapping as a whole.
Okay.
But sometimes that itself can be deceiving because, what you see obviously can be deceiving. So yeah, there definitely is a science, quote unquote, to handicapping, and but it's entirely not always accurate because there are different theories to how horses perform, and you sometimes have to investigate a little bit deeper than the approach that you take with the resources that are available for you. So.
Okay.
So the short answer is yes, there are resources available to you that are quote unquote scientific, but it requires digging deeper and using theories and more abstract approaches to investigating a race.
For like a beginner, I guess, is there a best way to actually start betting in general on horse racing? Is there a true beginner's?
I think that, and I can only remember how I first felt when I went to the track for the first time. I think you just have to dive into the form handicapping aspect, buying the form and looking at the raw times, asking questions to those that are around you, getting your tablet out or your cell phone and, trying to figure out what each notation in the past performance form means.
Okay.
And it's a learning process, and I think that is that's the best approach for a beginner. I would say that the most useful information that you can get from a form is probably trainer stats. What percentage does the trainer get their condition their horses for first, second, or third in a race? What is the jockey's in the money percentage? How many races have they won for the meet? It's kind of like take the trainer stats and the jockey stats and sort of analyze them and combine them together and throw that dart on that horse.
Okay.
With the best quote unquote connections. So that's how I approached it as a beginner.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how I would recommend someone that's going to the track. Play win, play show, and I would not. As someone that's been at this for a long time, I still prefer win and place bets over exotics, which would be exactas, trifectas, superfectas, multi-wager races. There's nothing wrong, no matter what skill level you're at playing in the win and place and show pools.
Okay.
Hey, Spence, do you have a favorite breed or pedigree of horse that you, I guess, admire or like more than others?
Well, particular to the Belmont race, there are some horses that are, on paper, better bred to win this race or to place in this race. Those horses will be Hofburg, Vino Rosso, Noble Indy. And why I say that is, if you look back one or two generations past them in their family line, you have Belmont winners or horses that have come very close to winning the Belmont. Now, keep in mind, before I move on to the top two contenders, genetics is a dice roll. I mean, it could literally mean nothing that, Hofburg's sire won the Belmont Stakes and that Vino Rosso sire got beat by a nose in the Belmont. It's a crapshoot. But, two favorites who are Justify and Bravazzo, you have to go back 3 or 4 generations before you find a Belmont Stakes winner. And in particular to Justify, you have to go back 4 generations. So
wow,
that kind of makes me nervous about Justify winning the Triple Crown. I do think he has a legitimate shot. I'd put him at a 3-1 to win. I certainly will not be betting him any lower odds than that to win or place. And one of those reasons why is the pedigree question that you asked.
True.
So I think that pedigree is important, but at the same time, it's you have to take it with a grain of salt.
Well, my next question was, does the jockey play a role in this at all, or is it just the horse? Is it all based around the horse or how he feels that day?
Jockeys have agents, full disclosure, I don't know any jockeys. I don't know any of the agents of the jockeys. I have met trainers, but particular to the jockey, I think that the jockey is more of a reflection of the agents trying to get their client onto the horse that is best in form or has the ability to move forward. I won't say that a jockey doesn't matter in the race, but I think it'd be silly to say the jockey is more important than the horse. I think the horse in its form is tantamount to the jockey's ability to ride that horse. So will some horses that have jockeys that have rode at Belmont be an asset? Yes. It just better be the horses that I personally think can move forward in this race.
Okay.
Awesome. That's pretty interesting. The question I got is, if I wanted to buy a horse, like a quality horse, what were some of the things I would look for as far as whether I was wanting to race the horse or just have it for show?
Well, that's a really interesting question. My family bred horses. My grandmother, she had several mares. She had a breeding farm. Right now she boards them. I'm really interested in pedigree. I think that finding the right mare would be the first step. Finding a mare that has won races at any level. It could be the lower level claiming races. Better if it's an allowance race. And I would be assuming affordability is a very important quality to this question. So you'd have to find the right mare, and then you'd have to find a stud that you think matches well with that mare's bloodline, and a stud that is probably lower than the $10,000 stud fee range. I think that would be an important quality. Because unless you're starting to talk about getting in a part of a syndicate where syndicates can go after these top studs that cost, $25,000 or $50,000. So in particular to maybe purchasing yearlings, I would say stride length. What is their stride length when they're breathing? What is, their temperament? Are they fit? Is there a lot of muscle on their hind end? I think those are the most important qualities that I know of when evaluating whether purchasing a yearling or trying to breed from a mare that you purchase. So that's how I would approach it.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
So there's a lot of money involved in that.
Well, it's horse racing, so it's all about the money and the horse. As far as trainers, is there we all know Bob Baffert, of course, but is there a trainer out there that you kind of admire that hasn't necessarily won the Derby or anything like that, but you feel like he's got a good quality thing going?
Well, I know that Steve Asmussen hasn't won the Derby. He's won the Breeders' Cup. He's won the Pegasus World Cup with Gunrunner. I feel like the sheer volume of clients and horses that he has in his barns across the country says a lot about his ability to condition his horses. I really, really like what he's done with Tenfold. Coming up to this race, he ran a really, really good 4th place in the Arkansas Derby where he tracked Magnum Moon all the way to the top of the stretch. Victor Espinoza wasn't able to get him to fire that day, but it was his 3rd start career-wise. Then he comes back and runs a huge race in the Preakness to come in 3rd. and this is a trainer that has a horse coming off of every race has improved, and he's coming in this Belmont, and I think he is a very dangerous horse coming into this race. And if you know anything about Steve Asmussen, he's won the Belmont with Creator in 2016, another horse that took a similar path to the Belmont. So that's the trainer I think that I respect the most when it is particular to this race next Saturday.
Okay. So who do you see winning this race? Do you see the Triple Crown being done?
I would say it's very possible. 3-1 is what I would handicap Justify at. I think that he has ran prior to the Derby and the Santa Anita Derby what would be the best race out of all of the contenders. Mm-hmm. He did not, in my opinion, run back to that in the Derby, and he definitely did not run back to that performance in the Preakness. However, the Derby was a weird circumstance where, you had Mudflying on Audible, you had Mudflying on Good Magic, who I think was, solidly beaten anyways. And you have a situation where he's going to have to run back to that Santa Anita Derby to win this Belmont, and I think it's possible. I like I said, I give him like a 30 to 40% chance of being able to match that performance. And if he does, he has to hope that there are other horses that I will mention that don't take a step forward. Mm-hmm. Tenfold, I feel like, is the one that has the best chance to be him. He has to run a better race than he ran in the Preakness, obviously.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He has to take at least a length or two improvement to match Justify's best Santa Anita Derby performance. A length or 2 lengths, that's a lot. Believe it or not, that is a lot of time. Vino Rosso, who won the Wood Memorial, was in a lot of trouble in the Derby. His Wood Memorial was slightly inferior to Justify's Santa Anita performance, but if he runs back mm-hmm. to that form in the Belmont, he has a huge chance.
Okay.
So I really think this is a 3-horse race. There are some horses that the public will like, and a lot of money will go on that I think people should avoid for in the win spot. That's Bravazzo. I think Bravazzo ran his race last in the Preakness. I think that if he runs back to that race, he might be a length or two slower than the ones I previously mentioned. Hofberg, that's another horse that a lot of people are talking about. He's got the pedigree. However, and this reflects what I was talking about form. The Kentucky Derby is a weird race because these horses get bumped around, they get knocked around, and I think that knocks these horses off their form. Hofberg, his best race was a second-place finish in the Florida Derby. For me, it seems like a huge leap of faith to think that he is going to improve 3 or 4 lengths over these horses that we're talking about. Free Drop Billy is another horse that was in the Derby, got knocked around, had a poor performance, and hasn't won in months. And to think that he is going to improve 3 or 4 lengths, I just don't see it. For those horses to win, I really believe, a lot of the other horses have to regress by lengths. So for me, I will be keying Tenfold in my tickets and putting him with Justify and Vino Rosso and Bravazzo and probably Restoring Hope.
Okay.
And I think that would be a solid approach because you're banking on horses that are pairing their best races or are moving forward off the best races. So that would be my advice.
Okay. Well, Spence, it's been great. Thanks for coming on the show, giving all your advice and your knowledge.
Yes, definitely some great info you shared. I learned something.
Yeah, definitely. But we will talk to you soon, and we appreciate it, man.
All right, guys.
Hey, good luck with everything.
Wow, there you go. That's Spencer with all the knowledge of horse racing.
Horse betting guru.
Horse betting guru he is, man. He's got a lot of knowledge, been in this for a long time. Hopefully the listeners got something out of that they can go with.
I definitely learned something.
I do too.
I wish him all the luck as far as his betting.
Yeah, I do too. Are you going to be betting?
I am. I'm a buy horse too, so.
Wow, there we go.
Around town, what we got?
Things going around town. Muhammad Ali Center, the I Am Ali Festival, June 1st to the 10th. DeJuan Wheat basketball camps, visit DeJuanWheatSports32.com. Session 1 runs from June 18th to the 22nd. Session 2 runs from June 25th to the 29th. Session 3 runs from July 16th to the 20th. Cost is $125 per child. Also, July 21st is Deion Branch Skills and Drills Camp. Will be held at 12101 Sycamore Station Place.
And Anthony Davis B-Ball Camp is coming to Lexington Christian Academy. The spots are filling up super quick. It's from June 15th to the 16th. It's 450 West Reynolds Road is the address. For more info, please visit anthonydavis.com.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at @the_KY_gameplan. Facebook at the KY Game Plan. Twitter at the KY Game Plan. And also SoundCloud at the KY Game Plan.
I am Mac Black.
I am Adrian Smith.
And thank you for listening to the Kentucky Game Plan.